Hi, everybody, and welcome to Impin Ain't Easy, Hush Comics review and recap of Game of Thrones. My name is Sharif El-Khatib. I got here with me Adrian and Evan. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Evan and I have watched the show the whole way through. Adrian is new to this season, so if she says some things that don't make sense or don't know, that's why. So today's episode was Hardhome. It was just bananas. It was one of the best Game of Thrones episodes I've ever seen.
It was crazy.
It was really edge of your seat.
Yeah, it follows the regular kind of structure of jumping into each story 5-10 minutes of a time, and then spending the last 15-20 minutes discussing the main portion of the episode, which is the title. Hardhome is where Jon Snow is headed to recruit wildlings for his army, and he ends up doing some recruiting for the other team in the process. So yeah, let's start at the beginning though. Let's start with our power couple, Tyrion and Daenerys. What do you guys feel about that?
I think it's interesting. I'm still trying to figure out Daenerys and what she wants to do with her reign of power, because I think she states she wants the Iron Throne and she says she has a natural claim to it. However, I think Tyrion's starting to make her think like that's not really what she wants. And I don't really think Daenerys knows what she wants, but because this has been her life, she claims she should have it. But I think she only wants it for the sake of, because she talks about ending slavery and doing all this, but she can do that in a different way. I think she wants the Iron Throne because that's what people say she should have. And so I think it's really interesting to see Tyrion with Daenerys. I think her stake in this whole game just changed, and it took like 30 steps forward with Tyrion on her side.
I actually kind of disagree with you in the fact that that's what she wants. I think she wants to rule Westeros, but I don't think she wants the Iron Chair. There were a lot of great quotables. Just listening to her and Tyrion talk back and forth was probably my favorite part of the episode up until the end. But she seems very determined to break the class system, to break the social structure that's happening in Westeros right now.
Break the wheel.
Break the wheel, especially.
After you say that, I'll admit I forgot about that part. I forgot her whole break the wheel. That's one of my possibly favorite quotes I've heard in all of, Game of Thrones TV, is saying, it's, every house, every family is a spoke on a wheel. Eventually one rises to the top, pushing all others in the ground. So when you put it like that, I tend to agree with you. I think she wants it for reasons unlike we've ever seen before from any other king or queen.
What do you think, Adrian? You're the closest to a Targaryen here.
Because I'm a woman and I'm blonde.
Yeah.
And you're my Khal Drogo.
R.I.P. Khal Drogo.
Gosh, okay, so Daenerys has kind of pissed me off this season. So I think that with Tyrion behind her, she's going to do a lot better than what she's been doing. I feel like she's been kind of just blindly, leading. She's like...
for all intents and purposes, she's an idiot. She's never ruled before. She's still a little girl. She's as bad as Tommen. She's as bad as Joffrey. She's never seen battle. She doesn't know what she's doing. Mm-hmm. And I think she needs the confidence to think she can do it, but she also needs a little bit of logic to see why she's been doing it wrong. And Tyrion definitely he kind of does it with a pat on the head. You're not an idiot, but you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, he's good about, I think in all aspects of everything that I've seen from him, he's good about making people think that this was their idea.
Yep.
But he's the one who's really making stuff happen.
Which is funny, because all the other times when he was Hand of the King, it was all about, trying to prove his worth. And here he's really, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I just shot my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to live for. So he kind of seems... Did you guys also notice that he talked about his brother being the only person in the world that he trusts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Jaime would feel the same way about him now? Because he had some not-so-kind words to say about Tyrion.
It's hard to say because I think Tywin pushed away all his kids, and he played favorites, and his favorite was obviously Jaime. But the thing is, Jaime loves Tyrion. He loves him for who he is and everything he is. And so I think if Jamie were to know what exactly happened, I don't know if he would feel...
Yeah, but this is storytelling, so he'll never find that out.
Yeah.
It's only blind rage, and then you find out afterwards, like, oh no.
But I think just the fact of who Jamie is and his relationship with his brother, I think it would be more of a, like, I never want to see you again, get out of my sight, and if I see you, I'll kill you thing, rather than I will take revenge for my father.
Yeah. So moving on, let's talk about the other blonde lady who's not having a good time, and that is Cersei Lannister. How good did it feel to see, you get a little vindication as a viewer, to see her struggle in prison right now?
I don't know who the lady with the water spoon is, but I'm voting her president. Just seeing her slap Cersei with a water spoon and then, like, say, dump the water and say, sip the mud. It felt good. I like that lady.
She reminded me of, like, a mean nun.
Yeah, she reminded me of Miss Trenchbolt from Matilda. But yeah, I kind of would almost rather just, like, take back time and be like, alright, Cersei, all you gotta do is go far, far away and not get in anyone's business, and everything would have been fine. But instead, she dug this deep hole with the High Sparrow and the Tyrells, and she has just royally screwed herself, pun intended.
And see, Cersei... nice. Cersei just can't let go of anything. And I think, for me at least, my first glimpse of it, seeing who Cersei was in terms of her quest for power and her need to be desired, was when she was basically riding through the town and everyone was screaming, my queen, and no one was looking at her. They were all looking at Marjorie, and she hated it. And so I think, just because she can't let anything go, I mean, it's sad and pathetic in a way, right?
A little bit. And she's basically, by having all the power, she doesn't realize that power revolves, power changes, power shifts hands, and she's pretty much lost all her allies. Pycelle's gone, and although he's a dirty old bastard, he obviously still has some pull.
Yeah.
And now there's the Hand of the King who's actually going to rule the kingdom. Weird. Yeah, but what do you guys think about, I think his name is Qyburn, the mad scientist guy, who comes in and talks to him? He says, the work continues. What kind of work do you think he's cooking up?
Go ahead.
Okay. So... I think this is how I interpret it. I think it's how a lot of people will interpret it. But the work continues, in my opinion, the mountain, right? It has to be Franken Mountain. That we know after his fight with Oberyn, he was near death, and this mad scientist guy took him to his lab, and he's been running.
It's all muddy.
Right. He's been putting chemicals in him, and in a couple episodes we saw him twitch on the and we saw him twitch on the table. And so I think it's him saying, hold out a little bit longer. Maybe there will be a trial by combat and we can have this Franken Mountain. He's still going to be a beast of a man, right? Hopefully.
I wonder if religious people believe in trial by combat, because he did mention it. It's a whole new set of laws. It's a whole new set of conviction. It's not evidence-based. It's faith-based. So
but that doesn't mean Cersei can't release the mountain and have her own trial by combat and just have him come and destroy everyone and break her out, right?
Well, we don't know, because we don't know if a trial by combat is allowed by the faith.
When I say trial by combat, I mean it in air quotes, saying, like, the mountain will basically break her out. I don't know.
Shit doesn't work like that.
I know. But I mean, okay, the work continues. Franken Mountain.
There's no possibility that it's like, don't they have lawyers? Like,
and that's one of those moments we were talking about. There are no lawyers.
Why not?
You have to...
A law hasn't been invented yet.
But it's a whole new set of laws.
I'm just kidding. That's a great question. We should write George R.R. Martin about where the lawyers are in King's Landing.
So there are no lawyers in King's Landing, so there's no way that she's like, that they're working on her case. Like, they didn't fly in Viola Davis to, lay down the law.
This podcast has taken a major left turn.
Yeah.
Well, I will shut up then.
I guess another aspect to talk about is the Boltons. That was an interesting thing for me. We all hate the Boltons, right? Nobody's a Bolton fan. I swear if I saw someone wearing like a Bolton hoodie, I'd punch him in the face in real life.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to see them take turns arguing strategy. Whose strategy do you agree with? Bolton or Roos's or Ramsay's? So Ramsay's So Roose Bolton's plan to defend Winterfell against the siege from Stannis is to wait them out, freeze them out,
Oh, yes. Okay.
starve them
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
Whereas Ramsay is like, yeah, dude, let's just go for it. Give me 20 dudes and I'll fuck them all up.
Yeah.
And, it's easy to forget that even though this guy is Roose Bolton's son, he's a really good fighter. I mean,
Yeah.
he staved off an invasion. Well, not really an invasion, an intrusion from the Greyjoys.
From the Greyjoys.
Basically in his pajama pants.
And he enjoyed it.
And he loved it.
He had 2 knives, no shirt, while everyone was wearing armor, covered in blood, and he was laughing.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited to see what he has planned, but I am silently hoping that he fails horribly.
I think both plans have their merits. I just think I would prefer to see Ramsay's plan on TV. I mean, let's be honest. Most likely, if they waited out, the plan would work, but it would just take a much longer amount of time.
People can live off snow, though.
Right.
So all the snow's going to get eaten.
Kinda. But I just think for me personally, I would like to see Ramsay take 20 guys, charge into battle with no shirt on, covered in blood, 2 knives, smiling. It seems crazy to me. It seems crazy to me.
I want to see... I don't necessarily want to see Stannis become the ruler, but that dude's had such bad luck. I want to see his story go somewhere. And to me, it's been a whole... He's just been the guy who can't get his dick up the whole time. The guy who is trying to do his best. He's like, hey guys, I'm the rightful ruler, and no one will listen. No one even knows he's alive anymore, except, well, I guess they do now, but...
He's like the kid in class that tells a funny joke, and then the more popular kid tells it, and everyone gives him credit.
That's exactly right.
he's just sitting there with no attention.
Yeah, so I would love to see Stannis' story go somewhere and not just end in a massacre at Winterfell. Let's go to Sansa, who is kind of meandering around after being repeatedly raped by Ramsay. That kind of seems like the extent of her story so far, but she found out a big truth bomb tonight. What do you guys think about that?
To be honest, I don't have much faith in Sansa. I don't know what she's going to do with the information, but in my heart of hearts, I think it's going to be something stupid. I don't think it's going to be anything that helps her cause.
I feel like she spent enough time with Littlefinger that she should kind of know how to manipulate people, but she doesn't. I know that her time has got to come sooner or later. This can't be like the extent of her story. Something's going to happen with that information that Bran and Rickon are alive. But yeah, I guess who finds out about it is going to determine.
You know what could happen?
Maybe she tells Brienne.
That's what I was thinking.
And Brienne actually has a purpose now.
That's exactly my thoughts. I think she might cross paths with Brienne again and say, hey, we need to go find my brothers. And doo-wop.
Right.
New story.
Maybe they'll save me. That's probably going to be her.
That sounds like a really neat little bow. Like, oh, let's just gallop out of here. I'll just be on the back of Brienne's horse and I won't get raped anymore. Like, no, because this show is cruel and brutal and it's not going to be that easy.
Maybe she'll end up with Podrick.
Well,
he knows how to please a woman.
It's true. I mean, let's be honest. In Game of Thrones, nothing is ever that easy. But that is the only way I can see Sansa's storyline progressing right now. And like I said, I haven't read the books. I know we're currently caught up with the books at the end of the season. But I don't see her storyline progressing at all unless...
Well, in the books, she's still at the Vale, at the Eyrie, with Littlefinger. Whoever's marrying Ramsay isn't even...
Right.
Isn't Sansa, so...
I'm just saying, personally, I don't think Sansa's storyline can go anywhere unless she makes this her new thing to try to find and reunite what's remaining of the Starks.
Yeah. I think she's just going to sit there and kind of nudge at whatever comes her way that ends up with Ramsay being killed. I don't know, it's weird. Like, she's obviously afraid of him, but I don't think she villainizes Ramsay the same way she did Joffrey when they were in that relationship. Like, it just kind of seems like she's a victim of circumstance because they're married. It's not like she personally hates him. Because she was like, yeah, I'd chop your dick off too, Theon.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of, like, weird. So maybe it's just to get away from that situation. Let's move on to another Stark and talk about Arya, who's kind of doing some Assassin's Creed stuff. in Bravos. I think it's pretty neat. How do you guys feel about that? It feels not so much Game of Thronesy, right? Like, there's a lot this episode that didn't feel
Game of Thronesy.
Traditional Game of Thrones, but this one struck me as really far left.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what Arya's story is going to be. Like, what is this the end game? Is this it? Does she become this faceless assassin and just stay here? Like, what's her 5-year plan? You know?
Well, it seems like her mentor there is setting her up for failure, which I thought was an odd, turn of events since he seemed so attached to her throughout the seasons. Maybe he just wants to see if she'll rise above. I don't know.
I think he's still trying to determine if she's worth it. I mean, obviously she's progressing. She's getting better at lying. We know she's willing to kill. She's kind of seeing the world for what it is now. And I think it's going to be very interesting what happens with her. I think it's also important to remember that Needle is still hidden in the rock. So Arya still lives. The girl with no face, no name, no background is kind of dominant right now. But Arya Stark...
she's just trying on a face. Right?
She's trying on a face.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't know. It seems weird. The more I hear about the House of Black and White, where she's interning, basically.
She's a temp.
Right. It seems like they're not really that nice. Like the guy who came up and was like, yeah, I'm sick, I'm going to die, or my daughter's going to die, end my suffering. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. But this guy, it's like, oh man, I have this really big debt, and I have children to feed, and they're just like, well, why don't you just kill this dude? Then everything will be all right. Now you don't have to worry about feeding your children because you're dead.
Because you're dead.
But yeah, I don't know. The motives behind this organization seem a little weird. It's kind of like that pyramid scheme knife selling place when we were kids. Like, I'm just going to make all these little kids kill people.
Well, I'm still waiting for that bomb to drop for Arya to see the things she never saw before that makes her disgusted with this work. Because I believe it's there. I don't know what it is, though. But I believe there's something about this organization, this creed, this whatever you want to call it, that is still a mystery to Arya. And she has yet to find out what it is. And I don't think she's looking for it, but I think it's going to pop up in her face one day and make her rethink a lot of things.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, honestly, I was confused by a lot of what was going on. I didn't understand why that guy was talking to the gambler, and I don't know. I know that she was selling fake clams, right? But they were delicious.
The clams are real.
The clams look real. They
no,
didn't
I
have
know,
other
I
faces.
know, I know.
These clams are plastic.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, she took on a new persona. She was practicing to be this other person.
No, I got that. I guess I just didn't get, the gambler and the guy.
They're totally random.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I just didn't, isn't that story going to carry over? Or maybe, that's just it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't carry over.
Oh, okay.
Carry over? She's going to go kill him.
Right.
Well, right, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see it.
But I don't understand why she has to kill him.
He explained it. It was weird. Something about
So I'm not the only one who didn't get it.
Well, the gist I got of it, and I just want to go back and check, is that he kind of seemed like he was saying that this guy had a huge debt, but if he's dead, he doesn't have to pay it.
Well, that's just life, right?
Right. That's why it's kind of weird that they're just like, well, go kill this guy, and then his debt's free, and then you've done good things for the world.
Right, because what I
okay.
interpret from the House of White and Black is like, hey, end people's suffering. And that's really what it seems they're doing. This guy has a huge debt. He can never pay it off. Kill him. This girl's about to die. Let her die. Yeah. They're all about. They seem to be all about ending suffering and doing
decreasing the surplus population.
Yeah,
wow, that's some weird way of natural selection right there.
But we could be totally wrong.
Okay,
just saying.
Well,
but that's
I don't know.
Then
it just seemed like the guy with the longer hair or whatever that has been teaching her how to lie. He's like, oh, whatever.
The guy who turns into Danny Glover.
Yeah, that guy. That guy. Well, actually, Danny Glover turned into him.
That's true.
That's true.
I don't know his name because I'm...
Jaqen H'ghar.
I'm still a noob. Jaqen H'ghar. Okay, so...
A man.
It just didn't seem like... It seemed weird that he's like, oh, the god won't care, or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude seems really weird.
Did you already say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm
reiterating.
reiterating.
Succeed or not, it won't
I guess
matter.
that was my least favorite part of the episode.
You know, I have to agree. It was interesting to see it go a whole different direction that the show really hasn't gone in, but least favorite out of everything because there was a fucking World War Z shit going on. I still can't wrap my mind around, but yeah, I guess the dude who called Jon Snow's bluff about the zombies was very wrong.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, you know what? Let me fight this dude because I can't live through this humiliation.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because no one was really arguing the fact that, like, alright, well, ice zombies are kind of scary. Yeah. Maybe I'd rather be on the other side of that fight.
But some people are just so stubborn, they're like, nah, man, I don't bow to no King Crow.
Right, King Crow.
Yeah.
That's got to be somebody's rap name tomorrow, I'm sure.
Mine.
Adrian Purrier, a.k.a. King Crow.
King Crow
mixtape dropping August 32nd.
Sick. But yeah, I loved every minute of the fight, and there was a lot of bombs dropped in terms of what the hell is going on, because everyone's kind of been like, hey man, don't forget about those ice zombies. It's kind of like a joke, you know, when you tell people to watch out for,
you know, winter is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked all the lead up to it. That like they were all like kind of arguing in the hut, I guess, because you didn't know. I guess you didn't know who was going to side with Jon Snow, and you didn't know who was going to side with the Purple People Eater. That's what I'm calling him. I know he's not purple, but you guys kept calling him
but
the People
he does
Eater.
eat people.
Okay, so I liked that aspect, and then like I liked that we didn't really know at first. Like, is it zombies? Is it an avalanche? Either way, everyone's kind of
It was
totally
an
fucked.
avalanche of zombies.
It
That's
was
how
an avalanche of
scary
zombies.
That whole thing, in all of what I've watched in Game of Thrones, that was by far the most frightening. That right there was like, okay, all this throne, like chasing it, that don't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you see what's going on here?
It was a lot. It reminded me a lot of 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
But
They
like
could run. They could use weapons.
Yeah, they could use weapons. That was the scariest thing about it.
I mean,
and they didn't die because that one dude got shot in the head with like 6 arrows, and he was like, meh.
Yeah, he was craning around like a little turtle head.
You know, it was just, my reactions came in steps. It was like, oh, what's about to happen? And then when you kind of realize, like, this is terrifying, it's going to be okay, though, because he's Jon Snow. And then it just kept getting more and more and more. And then we saw I don't know her name, but the gorgeous wildling girl. When she saw the kids, I was like, it's over.
It
like,
reminded me so much of Titanic. It did. All we needed was Celine Dion as they were leaving.
Yeah.
Because, everything about that was like, don't leave me.
Yeah, is.
But no one seemed to be in a hurry until the dead people were like right there. They're watching people die.
Yeah,
they're
like,
they were.
Should we leave?
Yeah. You actually do see like the 4 horsemen up above, and they're just like, oh, that's cool. Nobody, they weren't rowing faster. People's arms weren't pumping in the water faster.
I don't know. It just, that whole scene, I'm still trying to figure out my feelings about it. Like, it was amazing. It was gorgeous. It was poetic in nature, but
It's very artistically done.
Yes.
it just dwarfed everything else happening. Like, all this, like, it seems
Right.
like chasing the throne is so petty now.
It's so petty. Yeah.
Well, I think, isn't that, I guess, I always thought that was, like, the point of Game of Thrones, is, like, there are all these people, like, trying to get to the top spoke, but none of that actually matters, because there's real shit going on in the world.
Well, it's funny.
Kind of like real life.
Like, kind of like real life.
Well, they've been saying it for seasons now, but we've never actually seen what kind of devastation they're talking about. It's always just like, oh yeah, scary shit's gonna happen, there's zombies, but now it's like, oh yeah, they're all gonna murder everybody.
And in this is really the first episode, I think, for at least for me personally, we get a real glimpse, a true up-close look at what, the White Walker organization is about. I mean, we've seen them roaming forever.
The White Walker Mafia.
Yeah, the White Walker Mafia.
Deal with his shitty little crown.
Yeah.
It looks like a really bad haircut.
No, it looks cool.
But I'm saying, we've seen them roam, we've seen them attack, one on
Roman
one.
grown.
Right.
Roman ground.
the white, I like to call him the White Walker samurai that fought Jon Snow. Like, we haven't seen them like that before. And I know we'll talk about the ending later, but as I call him King Walker, he's a badass that ain't afraid of nobody.
You're so good at naming these characters.
I just throw king and then whatever they are.
Yeah, I guess one last thing to leave on is the ridiculousness that Jon Snow has now tied Sam Tarly for most White Walker kills ever.
Yes.
With one.
Yeah.
And due largely to his Valyrian sword, Longclaw. So this brings up a bigger thing going on, that Daenerys is going to have to be involved with killing White Walkers someday, even in sunny Idaho, or whatever the hell she's in Marine. Is that Valyrian steel made by the Targaryens is dragon forged in dragon fire. So,
but with what? I know. I'm
with
sorry.
a dragon's breath.
I know, but there's got to be something else. He doesn't just breathe and metal comes out.
No.
Forge
He forged
iron.
it,
So he melts the iron with the dragon breath, and it's formed into a sword.
Gotcha.
Blacksmithing 101 for Adrian.
Yeah.
So, the world is, there's definitely not a surplus of dragon glass running around. I mean, that shit was like, it's like all we could find.
Yeah, they basically already broke what they had, didn't they?
Well, they
must have had like 30 pounds, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, where the hell do you find that in Castle Black? You just find it next to like
under
the joy of cooking.
under like 30 feet of snow.
So, Daenerys' dragons, or maybe Drogon makes his way down there, I don't know. But they're going to have to be involved in making some weapons for this apocalypse. It might not be until half the world is infected, but, whatever.
Because the state, let's be real, Daenerys, I don't even think she knows anything about this Walker problem.
Oh, no, she doesn't know much about much.
And so... She doesn't know much about much.
Oh God, I'm still holding it against her that she's like, I'm gonna marry this dude. I'm gonna sleep with my guy over here.
My dude over
this
here.
This is just
Everybody
a paper
else
wedding.
does that.
This is
This is just a paper wedding, and then
Yeah, that's how royalty works.
well, that's not how it works in Marine, because dudes were killing slaves over not being able to reopen the fighting pits. So
yeah,
chances
are
they
to
take
do
tradition.
with her having a side piece.
It has everything
to do.
It's fornication, okay?
Well, the very last scene was pretty important, right?
I think, like I said, I think it was one of those things where we see King Walker just walk at the end of the dock, and Jon Snow is still fairly close, and they're just looking at each other
really
like,
close.
what's going to happen?
It was so quiet. It was
so quiet.
It was like interstellar quiet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was just like, it kept you on your seat, because you're like, what's this dude going to do? Is he going to take a step in the water and start walking towards Jon? Is he going to send all the remaining...
I'm glad it wasn't anything dumb, like he touches the water and it freezes.
Yeah.
Or like Pirates of the Caribbean where they run underneath the water.
Yeah.
He definitely had the like, come at me bro look in his face.
Yeah, he had the Gus Fring.
And then,
the Gus
whole
Fring.
thing.
Yes.
how do you defeat an army that can't die? How do you do that?
They can die.
They can die.
Well, they can die,
But just not
but I
easily.
mean, they can't die with normal weapons.
I think you need to start making some half-breed giants and step on them all.
The giant was cool. That was working, wasn't it? I mean, being smashed to smithereens. Can't really do.
So you can't kill them, but how do you kill them in large numbers?
How do you do that?
Dragons.
Especially, dragons. But I'm
So
saying,
would
like,
a dragon's breath just work?
Hell, I don't
Who
know.
knows?
I didn't
We
write the
don't know.
book.
Okay.
yeah. Who knows?
I've
but,
never asked a dragon.
but the thing is, I think that last look at the end, where King Walker was at Jon, he's like, get ready. Like, prepare yourself.
It honestly would have been a good season finale.
Yeah,
I thought
so.
That would have been a great season finale. Oh, man.
These seasons are too short. They pack so much in, though.
So, did we know before this that he could raise the dead like that?
Well, we had an idea.
I thought it worked kind of like zombies did, that like you got bit by one and then you just rose.
Right.
Because that's why at the end of season 4, when they killed the little cripple guy, little cripple brother, and then blew him up so he wouldn't turn, I thought it had something to do with them. I don't know.
Kill the brain.
Right, I thought that's what it had to do with, but
But aren't you glad it's not that way?
Yeah, it's not, and a zombie book or a zombie story, and I like that a lot because the whole time I was just thinking this is going to be really dumb if it turns out to just be zombies in Game of Thrones, but they have their own thing going on. They're not The Walking Dead.
Right. So this may be
good.
totally beside the point, but I want to bring it up. So we saw the 4, what you want to call the horsemen. We've seen the king guy. We've kind of had glimpses of others, but I don't know if they're the other ones that were on the horses. But do y'all remember? I think it was last season. The baby that they turned into a full-on White Walker.
So do you think the babies grow into those creepy ass little Holocaust-looking children?
No, I think the babies.
My God.
No, I think the babies grow into what we see as the king or the Walker
you think they're
samurai.
The chosen. Like,
I think they're chosen. I think they're.
Because that made me
They
really
become a
wonder.
full breed, you know.
They're obviously not a food source, right? They're
Nope.
not. It's not solely recruiting because he does plenty of that on his own. So they have to be part of an elite, like, royal family or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they picked this incest dude in the woods for that task. Seemed kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
You remember the incest dude?
No, I do. He was the creepy
I
guy.
forget his name. Yeah, who slept with all his daughters, including Gilly.
Yeah, and he was giving babies away.
Right.
But no, I think because we saw him take this baby, walk it to this weird ice palace, put it in the center of the room, and touch it, and the baby's skin turned ice blue, and its eyes started to glow, and it was like a baby, full-on, 4 horsemen, White Walker.
What if he stays a baby forever? He's a
forever baby?
Yeah.
Baby,
Like a forever puppy.
You ever seen a forever baby?
I don't
This
want
kid
to.
that don't ever grow up, 2 years go by, he's still a baby. It's a forever baby. You ever seen a forever baby?
That's a shit
I have
deal.
not ever
It's a
seen
shit deal.
a forever baby.
I've seen a forever baby. It's creepy.
Oh, no, you have not.
I have. I can show you.
Vern Troyer. It's a forever baby. He should probably cast him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what is going to happen to this royal family, because that is one thing they've never dove into, just because we've seen nothing about the Walkers.
No.
Is who are they? Why are they? What's
their purpose?
What's their deal?
Why are they doing this? Why are they so scary? Like, why are they sending all these like minions off the mountain just to think they died and then get up and start chasing you?
Because it's scary?
Well, because
yeah.
they're not mindless, right? They're not the
they're
Walking
not.
Dead.
They're
So
not.
there's clearly a purpose to infecting.
But what is their purpose?
Exactly. I don't know.
So do you think that they came from, quote-unquote, royal family before, or they're their own?
I'm sure there's
Are
some
they
theories
the top
swirling.
of the spoke because they're the deadliest family?
What if they're like the wheel part, like the axle part?
Axel, and
Yeah.
all of it falls
They
apart
keep everyone
without them.
going. That's
But I
not
mean,
stupid,
do they
sorry.
have a quest for something?
Do they
does it
want-
really seem like, to just me, their characters don't really seem like someone who's interested in the typical form of power, what people perceive as royalty and having that kingship. It doesn't
Well,
seem like that.
In a way, yeah. But isn't it everybody's, like, goal to rule all of it? Like, if you
Yeah.
kill all of the people on a land and then raise them from the dead, you automatically rule that land.
I mean,
like,
that's a pretty good way to assure you're on the winning team.
yeah.
Play on the dead people's side.
Yeah.
They never get smaller. Their numbers don't ever wane.
That's true. I
Yeah.
don't know. I want to know so much more about them.
I mean, there's still people who are missing, who, like, we have no idea what happened to them, and I don't know. We don't know who the hell the first man really is. Like, what
No.
if... I just hope it's some type of magic. I have my fingers crossed for magic. Not enough magic in this show.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I see this. We need Bran back. We need to know who this Raven dude is in the tree. We obviously need Daenerys and her dragons.
Yeah, we're not gonna know shit till next season.
Pretty much.
I feel like we're gonna know less and less leading up to the season finale, and then spend a whole year. What's going on?
What this season is it's like when you're sitting at a restaurant and you see your waiter coming out with food and you get all excited and then you realize it's the table next to you and not yours.
Yeah, it is. Do you guys have anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like everything that's happening this season and a good chunk of, probably the entire series, but since I'm a noob, I don't know. But from what I saw from last season, what I've seen from this season, it just seems like it's all gearing up for kind of what Daenerys said. She's going to break the wheel. She doesn't realize how she's going to have to do that because other people who are stronger than her and more knowledgeable than her need her dragons, or else they're all going to die. So it kind of seems like they're all going to have to finally work together, and nobody's going to be on the throne.
I have a question for you guys. What does Jon Snow do from here? He went to Hardhome. Obviously, he has all the wildlings that are remaining, and they're like, yeah, dude, we're on your side now. Yeah. No one's obviously going to refute that. Where does he go from here? I mean, he's obviously not going to just go and chill back at Castle Black. He's obviously got to keep moving. He's got to go other places to try to get more.
I think he writes, as I told you so's all the way back to the wall. And then he, I guess he doesn't have any proof. It's not like,
he has no
one took a selfie.
Isn't his proof enough? The wildlings being like, yeah, we're on your team.
The giants.
Well, how many of them actually made it, though? This is the thing. He left so many.
They have children. Those little, the hot girls' kids are there on the boat. They made it out safe.
Yeah,
well, I know they did, but I'm just saying, like, the number that he wanted to bring back, first, it was already less than he wanted, and then a lot of them ended up getting murdered.
Well, right, but I'm saying, just bringing any wildling, saying, like, we saw this happen in all of them, it would be easier for them to say, yeah, they didn't join us, rather than, no, this is serious.
I don't know. You know, I'm actually really interested to see if maybe he goes all the way to Winterfell to tell Stannis, and then maybe... Because there's no way he's like, yeah, I'm just going to protect Winterfell now. Nah, he's all in this.
Yeah, let's say he's got to go somewhere from here. It can't stop. He's got to go on. He's got to keep trying to unite as many people as possible and get to where the dragons are if he even knows about them. I mean, everyone in, it seems, Westeros has heard the legends of the dragons. Get to the desert. Get to Dorne.
No,
he obviously knows that they exist, or else there wouldn't be dragon glass.
He's not going to leave the water or the wall behind, though. I don't think he's going to actually go.
Well, you don't think he's actually going to leave the wall?
He might temporarily, but he won't go so far as to the fact that, to the point he can't come back. Because, I mean, how far are these guys out from going to kill them?
Well, let's be real, though. He knows him, the wildlings, and whoever is left at the wall cannot defend the wall.
I just mean, like, I don't know if he can outrun the wildlings or the zombies now.
Aren't they surrounded by water?
But who's to say they can't make it through water?
Well, that's true, but they didn't...
Like Pirates of the Caribbean.
But he was like, this has been enough. Like, go warn your people. But I mean, the wall, to me, now the wall is pointless. Because the wall, all it's doing is keeping out the White Walkers. But if you don't have enough men to staff the wall to keep the White Walkers out, what's the purpose of the wall? You got to get more. You got to go. Because or else you're just going to sit there dying.
I think it's going to be everyone. Everyone's going to be screwed.
Game of Thrones ends what everybody did.
You should show Daenerys
just like the Wire.
Emancipation Proclamation. Like, look, this doesn't happen for like thousands of years. So stop trying.
Yeah.
Or hundreds. I don't know when this show takes place.
It's not real, though.
What? Says who?
So on that note. All right, thanks, guys, for joining us for our first podcast on Game of Thrones recap and review called Impin' Ain't Easy. Sharif and Adrian and Evan, we all say goodbye till next week.
Stay safe, y'all.
Goodbye
winter is coming.
Next week.
Yeah, winter is coming.
Winter is here.
It is. Bye.